When you think of discomfort, what comes to your mind? Discomfort. And how does discomfort, how does it empower growth? And why would you say growth needs protection? So today, we're going to talk about all three areas. Discomfort. When you think about discomfort, what comes to mind? And how does discomfort impact growth? And why do we need protection? Why does growth need to be protected? I'm Marlene Foster with Empower the Vision, and I help businesses to protect themselves from situations like the pandemic, inflation, a host of unexpected challenges that may come their way. That's what I do in my business. And today, again, we're going to talk about, first of all, when you think of discomfort, what comes to your mind? I was thinking the other day about discomfort being quite similar to a stock. How many of you own stock in the stock market? Stock. Think about in the stock market, you want the price to rise, right? You want it to go up. And that means that the more it goes up, the more money you make when stock prices rise, right? So let's take stock. Let's take this confidence. Think about what if you just started a business, your startup, and you just want to see your first customer, and now it's not going so well because okay, the person is pretty much saying, "Well, look, you're really not explaining yourself well. I don't understand, what the product is about." So now you start to feel discomfort, right? Because you're looking to make a sale. You're looking to get that person's trust, correct? So when you think of again with discomfort, and you're thinking about if we were to compare it to a stock, you look at the stock market, when it rises, that means that when stock goes up, the prices goes up. So if you own discomfort as in the stock market, that means that when it rises, you're now being compelled to take action. Think about how discomfort compels you to take action. Just as if you were in sales and you're not doing so well that particular day, you're now getting a little worried, right? And then you think about the family, or you think about someone who's depending on you, and now you're thinking about what I need to do in order to reinforce what's going on today. So now with with the discomfort, you're not compelled to move toward what? Growth. Discomfort, it has empowered you. It empowers you to now turn around and do what? To take steps toward growth. Now, there are times when the stock market fluctuates, right? It goes up and down. When discomfort goes up and down in your life, you probably, I'm going to say there are two different avenues I think of. You may think of something different, but one is what one group will probably think of, well, I'm going to just take it easy. And then they probably go, take easy and they're in the comfort zone, right? But the other side will then turn around and say, well, no matter what the storm is, if it's sunny or if it's stormy out, I'm still going to move forward. They're still going to move forward, correct? So that means that afterwards, we're looking at a product or service, and now we're looking at protection. Protection, and you can protect your product or service two ways: with a contingency plan, a plan that you have in place that you maybe worked on. And I want to say this to you, it's a possibility you could have more than one plan. So just remember that. We'll talk about that today as well. More than one plan. And then there are times when the plan that you got in place is not workable. What do? You think about adaptability. Adjust. Like Maya Angelou said, if it's something that you don't like, she said, change it. If you can't change it, you probably have heard this. Then what do? You change your attitude. So you change your attitude and think of a different, a more innovative way of now, putting that plan in place. Okay. Now I want to give you some. I'm going to talk to you today about give you a sample of what will be coming because I have been working with 500 moments of discomfort, and I've got writers who have written one-page stories, and I'm going to be coming on and talking to you about those story trailers. Today's story trailer will be my own. I'm going to talk to you about me and about something that's happened in my own life and just a trailer. But before we do, I want to again go through the different avenues of discomfort, growth, protection. Think of George Washington. You remember when he crossed the Delaware River, Christmas Eve, and it was supposed to be a surprise attack. Remember, he was planning an attack, going across the river, an icy cold river with soldiers who were, I mean, they were hungry, hadn't received much to eat. Their uniforms were paper thin, and they were walking on actually the shoes that they wore. They said had holes in them. The bottom of the shoe was just thin like paper. So now they're crossing the Delaware River, right? And that's the discomfort that they feel. That was discomfort. But what was the growth there? The growth was that they crossed that river determined, and they did surprise. They did a surprise attack, and they won. They won the battle. Correct? They won. Now, when you look at protection, protection again is in two. Now, when you look at George Washington, had he planned any type of contingency plan? Was a contingency plan in place? No. And good morning, Tanya. Good to see you today. Good seeing you there. Thank you for being here. Now, contingency plan. He didn't have a contingency plan in place, did he? Now, but what we are going to look at is what I mentioned earlier, adaptability. There are times when we have to adjust to situations, adjust. The adjustments take place in our lives every day. Do you know that you are planning every day and you're not really giving yourself credit for it? Because, okay, it rains outside, right? It's starting to storm. Or let's say if in the forecast, you heard what's getting ready to come, an ice storm or some other type of storm that's going to occur. And now you the night before, you're getting ready for it. And you also decide, am I going to let my children go to school tomorrow? Or if it's best that they remain home. So you're now starting to put what? A contingency plan in place in the event that the next morning the weather is just completely, unbearable, and you're feeling really nervous about the children going out in that weather. Now, an adaptable plan would be adaptability is your child is already out there. Your child went to school. They're out there. And I remember a parent telling me one day that the bus put their child out off at a stop. And that was about 30 minutes from home, guys. And it took that child an hour to walk home. And the parent was out there in that weather looking for the child, looking for them. So when we talk about contingency, that's a plan that you have in place. And the other side of it is adaptability. Now let's go back to the contingency part of it. When you look at your growth is the planning process. Think about right now, what are some of the most advantageous investments that you probably have in place? An investment that you're now investing time into what? Investing time what? Into yourself. You invest time into your customers. You invest time, right? Yeah, into your retirement. The different ways you invest in estate planning. You're thinking about what do I do for my family in the event something happens. You want to make sure that mortgage is paid. Just a lot of different things are taken care of. So we got to think about the contingency part of it. I want to say to you, I used to be a securities broker. And I was always told, then I turned around and I told all my clients, never put all your eggs, what, in one basket. Never put all your eggs in one basket because it could definitely crush you, when you do. So when you are looking at ways to protect yourself. You're looking at ways to protect the family, looking at ways to protect the business. Stop and think about what else should I think about doing here? I've got one plan in place. Now, your business plan is not something that you create and sit on the shelf, guys, and let create spider webs and dust starts to creep on it. I use my business plan on a quarterly basis. Like, for instance, I have plans that are already goals that I have set, my mission that's already in place inside my business plan. And I use it month to month to help me to the next quarter. For instance, right now, for the first part of the year, for 3 months, I already have my mission set. It's set. And I may have three major goals already in place. And then once that quarter passes, okay, then at the end of it, you look at what have you accomplished? What have you learned from it? And also, do you need to recreate and add it again to the next quarter? I'm saying take your business plan and resurrect it. Don't just create it and just leave it sitting on the shelf, guys. Use it. And I am advising you also, if you'd like to reach out to me, put an exit strategy in there. In my business, I help businesses from start to finish, from start to finish. And that means that when you start your business, you never know what can occur in the business once it gets started. You could be in business for 5 years and you've set each year you're setting goals, right? Which is good for your retirement. And that means every year you need to be looking at your new retirement goals, your new goals for profitability. Every year should be different goals that are being set. But what if? And that's why diversification is so important when you're talking about the growth portion of this, the investments, how you're investing your time, how you're investing your products. Think about more than one way to create a contingency plan, for your business. Get feedback. Start looking at different, you can even join associations and you can even maybe have somebody like myself to come in and we have a group consultation where we talk about different types of planning strategies, ways that you can protect yourself from the unexpected. Start thinking about differences, ladies and gentlemen, not just one way of how you can protect yourself, but look at a variety of ways. Read about what someone else did. Take, Steve Jobs, for instance. Did Steve have a protection plan in place based on what happened to him? He created a company and he lost it, right? He lost his company. He lost it, but he then turned around and he regained the company. And he ended up helping the company to be the prominent company that it is today. Steve Jobs did. But my point is this: Steve faced something that could have actually been prevented if he'd had a protection plan in place, guys. So you never know what could happen. But in one of my writings I want to share with you today, I'd have to say that the story that I'm going to be giving you, the story trailer that I'm going to give you today, it's going to be in my book. So I'm not going to give you the full story, but we're going to talk about this one, and there's another story. But this particular story is about a partnership where there was a key employee. And you may ask, how can you protect the business during an unexpected, something that's unexpected you never, ever, ever, ever would have considered occurring? How do you protect yourself? In this business, the key employee dies. How do you feel? I'd like to ask you this right now today. And then the next time that we come back, next week, I want you to write it down and come back and put it in the comment section once you leave today, or even come back and just and comment about it. Tell me what you think that business could have done to prevent having a setback, because this person who was a key employee, he created unusual, unique furniture for them. He set them apart from just about everybody in that industry. He was just that creative, guys, truly creative. And they relied on him. And most of their income came from his expertise. Now he's dead. What could they have done? How do you think they could have prevented what they're having to do now? Now they're having to do what? Look for a replacement, correct? What, in your opinion, could they have done to protect themselves? Okay, the discomfort here is what? Think about it now. Our partnership just lost the key employee. Discomfort, right? How does discomfort empower growth? When you have instances like this to occur, it then lets you know next time what needs to be done, correct? You're thinking about, well, did this happen to me? You're going to make mistakes. Your mistakes are discomfort. That's the discomfort. When you have discomfort in your life, in your personal life, in your business, then you're thinking about next time I'll know that this is what I will do next time because you know what you face this time. So here is the partnership. They've lost a prominent leader, someone who just definitely, I mean, just his uniqueness made the business. It did. And they had no plan in place. Now, let's look at adaptability within this company. Okay, they have no plan in place, right? Now, if they're going to adjust to this particular challenge that they're facing right now, now, in your opinion, what do you feel they could have done? What could they have done here to protect themselves after losing the growth? Because the investment, of course, there's an investment that should have been made here. Investment in this employee, correct? And I want you to tell me what you think, what would you say should have occurred? And then now again, facing the discomfort right now, facing the unexpected, and now they've got to look at the adaptability because they have no plan. Now they have to decide, they have to stay calm and they're going to have to adjust, like Maya Angelou said, that when you don't like something, you change it, right? But if you can't change it, you change your attitude. So now they've got to think of something quite different. They've got to be very creative, guys, with the next step that they make. And I want to say to you, when you come and read this story in my book, the first book, you will find out what occurred. But I want you to basically think about again, what do you think they could have done? What should they have done? Let's think this twofold. What should they have done? And what can they do today in order to protect their business? And we're talking about protecting themselves, protecting the employees, protecting the customer interest, because this furniture is going out to there's customers who are ordering this furniture, and now he's deceased. What would you do? I want you to tell me, what would you do here? All right, my second story trailer today, again, is about me. Look at solopreneurs. Solopreneurs have what about that? They have no employees and they don't have any assistance there with them. And a lot of us are right now are solopreneurs. And see, I finally learned the benefit of at least having collaborations and being affiliated with associations, and also bringing people in that I can train them so that when I do decide to retire, there's somebody there who can do what? Can purchase my business. They are there, and it will benefit us both. I can get the benefit of they are purchasing what I have, the business itself, and then they can then take what they'll have my clientele, my expertise, because I would have trained them. Now, but what do you think about a solopreneur who becomes unexpected? There's an unexpected illness that occurs, an unexpected illness, guys, and I'm the only one that's there. I mean, only myself. And this particular day, I'm really sick. I mean, really sick. And so at that particular point, I will say this, that there was someone that I was able to call upon, and they rushed over and they completed the transaction and they signed the deal for me and rushed me to the hospital. Now, what do you think I could have had in place that would have protected the business? First of all, the discomfort was that there I was with pneumonia, guys. I was sick. I mean, really sick. Pneumonia hit me. I mean, just all of a sudden. And that's my discomfort. My discomfort, guys, being hit with the pneumonia. And once pneumonia hit, then next was how the discomfort empowered me. Let me tell you, inside of the story that you will be reading in my book about me and this particular, and just remember, so that's the story about Marlene when she had pneumonia. I want you to look at solopreneurs. A lot of them are out there all alone. You don't have to be alone. You don't need to be. Again, you can reach out. You can reach out. And I'll just say that this today, and you can reach out and you can collaborate. But in this particular story, you will find out all of the how it impacted, how discomfort first of all, from not having a plan in place, what it did to my business. And then by having the discomfort to occur, how it strengthened me years down the road, guys, because you learn from your experiences. It empowers you. It empowers you so that when something like this does happen in the future, you're ready for it. How can you ever be ready for anything if nothing ever happens to you? So I'm saying again, let's take a look again. Think about discomfort. How would you describe discomfort in your life? What type of experiences have you had with discomfort, and how has it impacted your life, your business, as well as your personal life? Think about that. And then think about the next stage, which is how does discomfort impact and empower growth? And again, let's look at that. Let's look at that for a moment. Okay, even in both of the story trailers that I just shared with you, customers are in both. You get customers, guys, and you have to think about customer loyalty. How does discomfort empower customer loyalty? Because when you are compelled or propelled to get up off of it and to create an action plan, something that you know that's going to benefit your customers, believe me, your customers don't know that you've been through a discomfort. They don't know that, but you do. I've been there before in the sales industry. And even today, when something occurs that really that accelerates, it will accelerate you. Discomfort accelerates you. And you then leap forward, looking to create a plan of action. A plan of action, guys, for customer loyalty. A plan of action for estate planning. What are you going to do about your children if something happens? And get this, more people, more business owners are becoming disabled than they are dying. So there's a vast influx of leadership that are becoming disabled. You better think about how. How would you protect your family if you became disabled? Even if the disability came for just, even if it was for a year, for a few months, and as opposed to death. How will you protect your family? And again, you protect your family with either a contingency plan, remember, or adaptability, adjusting to whatever is happening to you and going face to face with it and coming up with a brand new, innovative process that you had not anticipated before. You didn't anticipate it, even using. Okay, now employee retention. Employee retention. This is something that all of us, you read about it continuously in the news during the pandemic, and that was the Great Resignation. You remember? Look at the discomfort that both employees and businesses were feeling back then. The discomfort at that point, the discomfort that the employees felt because of lack of self-worth. They felt that they should at least have been given an opportunity to be trained and go through a process of, some type of succession plan. But a lot of them weren't given that option. Then you had the business on the other side. As they started losing employees, then they started thinking about how am I going to keep my business going forward. And look at all the businesses that are shutting their doors today, guys. Think about it right now at the moment. Think of a restaurant, one of your favorite restaurants of all time that you've always, you and the family, you and a date, you in a business, if you were in business and you met someone there for business a transaction, think of a restaurant that is now closed. My favorite restaurant, Houston's, closed about 2 to 3 months ago. Man, my heart just bled because my daughter and I love that restaurant. I have been doing business at Houston's for years. I've met people there at Houston's. Seriously. And I'm saying this to you that think about it though. Restaurants are having a really difficult time right now. And there are other businesses that are as well. I don't want you to have that difficulty. So I'm saying to you, if those of you would like to write a story for me and how discomfort empowers you, please do and submit it. Send it to me. I will put my email address for you to send it, and that way you'll empower not only your own community but communities around the world. And you can even let your customers read the story. Write your story so that more people can learn about you. Let your customers read it. And and your customers, your current customers, then turn around and give you referrals for new customers. So again, just think about your business. How do you keep your doors open from start to finish? Think about that any type of unexpected challenge can actually come forward and hit you, as it has some of the restaurants that have shut their doors, or even other businesses that have shut down. Don't allow it to happen to you. Reach out and talk to me, and we could talk further about it. That's what I do. I do group consultations, one-on-one, and I also do consultations within businesses. If a business wants an exclusive presentation that would be mainly about you and your particular business, I could come out and we could do that together as well. But again, remember for next time, go back and look at the replay. And I'd like to hear from you. Think about the different the points that I made today and how you feel the partnership could have protected themselves. And I'm asking this: what if the partnership were married? Marital teams, you have to protect yourself as well. And that's something that you will hear me talk more about as well. Protection, even through marriage. Let's say if one of the married partners wants to just leave and go do something else, not leave the marriage. Or what if one of them wanted to leave the marriage? What do you do? What do you have in place? You have to have a contingency plan there to take care of from start to finish. And wanted to just say that thank you so much for coming here today. I will be back next week, and I'll be talking to you about 3 stories per week. You'll be hearing I'll introduce each person, and I'll also share with you their incredible story. These stories and the variety of stories, ladies and gentlemen, about business, about grief, tragedy, you name it, you'll hear in these particular stories, and you'll be able to reach out and introduce yourself to each person, and you can connect with them. But just want to say thank you again today. Thank you, Tanya, and and I was just looking at it, and Tanya. You know what? I love the comments that Tanya has here, and she talks about discomforts of still working with kids. Okay, that's see there, and every day in secret, and working for 2 years and not being able to walk. Wow, Tanya. My, and you know what? And see, Tanya's actually she has a story that you'll be able to read on the in the book. I have a 10-book series is coming out, and she's going to be in one of those books. So look forward to reading Tanya's story. I will be doing a story trailer on Tanya as well. So Tanya, get ready, set, go, because I will be her story, guys, will be coming out. And then you can just hear the story trailer, and then you can go and read the full story in the book. But thank you, everybody, so much for being here today, and look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.